I never imagined my own son would choose pride over the woman who gave him everything. On a quiet Saturday night, he pointed at the door and shouted, "Apologize to my wife right now or never come back." My daughter-in-law smiled as if she had already won. I looked at them both. I said only 5 words. Then I walked away without looking back. 3 days later, my phone would not stop ringing. The same people who threw me out were now begging me to return. What happened during those 72 hours changed our family forever. My name is Nathan Caldwell. I spent 38 years working as an electrical engineer in Ohio. Every overtime shift and every missed holiday had one purpose. I wanted my son Owen to have a better life than I ever did. When his mother passed away, I became both father and mother. I cooked meals, attended every school event, and quietly carried my grief so he would never have to. Years later, Owen married a woman named Alara Whitmore. She was intelligent, confident, and charming when we first met. But after the wedding, something slowly changed. Every family dinner became uncomfortable. Every opinion I shared was dismissed. Every memory about Owen's childhood was interrupted by Alara reminding everyone that the past no longer mattered. I ignored it because I believed families survive by choosing peace over pride. That Saturday evening, they invited me for dinner. I brought Owen's favorite homemade apple pie, just like I had every birthday since he was 10 years old. Alara barely looked at it. She whispered that homemade desserts looked cheap compared to bakery cakes. I smiled and stayed silent. Dinner continued until a small disagreement started over Owen's late mother. I simply suggested keeping one family photograph in the living room. Alara laughed and called it emotional clutter. Before I could respond, Owen slammed his hand on the table. He stood up and shouted, "Apologize to my wife right now, or never come back acting like my father." The room became completely silent. Alara folded her arms with a satisfied smile. I slowly stood from my chair. I looked directly into my son's eyes and calmly said 5 words. "You will remember this night." Then I picked up my coat and walked out. I did not argue. I did not cry. I did not defend myself. The next morning, I quietly met with my attorney. Many people believed I was simply a retired old man with nothing left to offer. What Owen never understood was that I still owned a commercial building where his technology company operated. Years earlier, he could not qualify for financing. So I bought the property in my own name and rented it to the business for far below market value. I never mentioned it because helping my son never required applause. After what happened, I instructed my attorney to notify the company that the lease would not be renewed. Everything was done legally and professionally. Within 48 hours, investors learned the company could lose its headquarters. Meetings were canceled. Clients became nervous. Employees started asking difficult questions. On the 3rd day, my phone rang. It was Owen. His voice no longer carried anger. It carried fear. "Dad, please, can we talk?" I agreed to meet them at a quiet coffee shop. When they arrived, neither of them looked confident anymore. Alara avoided eye contact. Owen finally whispered, "I did not realize everything you sacrificed for me. I thought success was mine alone. I forgot who helped build the foundation beneath my life." Then Alara quietly apologized. She admitted she had judged me without knowing the years of sacrifice behind every opportunity they enjoyed. I listened carefully. Then I told them something they would never forget. Respect is worth more than money. Homes can be rebuilt. Businesses can recover. But once gratitude disappears, families begin falling apart. I decided not to renew the lease anyway. Not because I wanted revenge, because actions have consequences and real growth requires responsibility. Months later, Owen rebuilt his business in a new location. This time he earned everything without depending on hidden support. Our relationship slowly healed because it was finally built on honesty instead of entitlement. Sometimes the greatest gift a parent can give is not another chance. It is a lesson that changes a life forever. Family is not measured by who shares your name. Family is measured by who respects your sacrifices when no one is watching. Never confuse kindness with weakness because the quietest person in the room often carries the greatest strength. If this story touched you, remember to honor the people who stood beside you before success arrived.